Well, look what we have here. It looks like we got your behind surrounded again. So stop what you're doing, lay your goods down, sit back, relax. You deserve it, man. And rock with us while we take you to the hot spot of London in Watch Dogs Legion. That's right, you rocking with a Legion now, because in Watch Dogs 1, you were flying solo as Aiden Pierce, a man with the personality of watching paint dry, a boring protagonist. But man, did he have to hustle when the cops were on his behind. But that joint took place in Chicago, so I completely get it. Watch Dogs 2 came through with a brighter tone, and you had more of a crew you was working with. And I swear, you were against a corporation that looked like a fake Google called Noodle. Really, Ubisoft? Whatever, man. Now, in Watch Dogs Legion, everyone can join the party. If you bump into them and they look good, you can recruit them. It don't matter even if they one of them street statues, you know what I'm talking about, like the gold, silver ones. You see what I'm saying, from regular show. You actually might need them to do a mission or two, but you know what? I'm getting ahead of myself, man. So let me back on up. This here is a review of Watch Dogs Legion. Alright? Now, to set the stage, you're moving through London. Never been there before, except for when I went through it in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, last I remember. But this is like an updated version of London. I'm sure London looks relatively similar as San Francisco did in Watch Dogs 2 and Chicago did in Watch Dogs 1. Now, I'm interested in knowing, based on what this game looks like, it's like the outdoor areas are interwoven with the indoor areas. It's peculiar. I mean, all the games tend to predominantly be outdoors, but this place has like outdoor areas that are covered, like makeshift indoor areas. I can't really describe it. You gotta play it to understand what I'm talking about. You're like, then what are you doing with a channel if you can't describe it? Relax, okay? I mean, what are you doing with a phone? You have a world of information in the palm of your hands, and you're looking at fail videos and cat videos and whatnot. All right, back up. See what I'm saying? Now, let's deal with this game graphically for a second. The color scheme is a lot more realistic than the color scheme in Watch Dogs 2. It's like a silvery, grayish, street tone color vibe as opposed to the bright, happy colors of San Francisco. Dare I say, rainbow colors of San Francisco, which makes sense, right? I mean, you know, they rep the rainbow flag pretty hard over there, and you see it reflected in that game. Now, Legion, not so much. Even the skies tend to be gray, which is what I always imagine London to be anyway. Apologies if London looks like nothing of the sort, but I never imagine walking under blue skies in London. I always feel like it's foggy. Thankfully, London is pretty populated with people in this game, right? Now, nothing irks me more than playing a game where you have a sprawling metropolis, and yet the city is devoid of people. Devoid? I don't know which word it is, but it drives me insane. Cyberpunk 2077, I'm looking directly at you. Why would you create an open world game in a city where there's no one around? I mean, you might as well just make a linear city and stop messing with us, man. Anyway, right? There's people all around the place, and all these people look relatively different, right? And that's the beauty of the game, right? The beauty of the game is this. If you see people in the game, you can recruit the randomly generated person to your Legion, and now that person is a part of your team. The people look different, but at the same time, they kind of look a little the same. Now, I know what you're thinking. If they all look the same, then you're not really impressed. But check this out, right? If you leave your house right now, no, like after this video, go outside. The real people outside all look like mixtures of other people you've seen before anyway. The variety you want to see in terms of people's faces is exactly similar to what you would actually see in real life anyway. Sometimes I feel like we humans look recycled. I mean, do you know how many people out there look just like you? Anyway, the cars have a bit of variation that I could appreciate, but you know how it is. When you go to an area, all the vehicles in that area tend to be the same, which I do believe is largely intentional in the game. The makers try to design the look of the people based on a particular area of London and the socioeconomic condition of the actual people that live in that particular area, which is always a nice touch to me. You see what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you can relate because you're like, oh yeah, this is what happens when I go to, you know, Camden. You see what I'm saying? I ain't never been to Camden, so I'm assuming whatever. Your character can jump into the water which I'm always addicted to. I'm always addicted to looking at water in video games. However, the water effects, they look like they suck. But y'all couldn't let a brother go under the water? I mean, come on, y'all. A minor gripe. The look of the people on your team are pretty varied, right? The graphics, they're acceptable. It's slightly neck and neck with Watch Dogs 2, if not a bit less, which is kind of bad because Watch Dogs 2 came out, 3, 4, 5 years ago? Something crazy like that. But it ain't no Ralph, though. You see what I'm saying? The facial hair does look a little crazy, though. But, I mean, are you trying to play this game and stare at people's facial hair on the screen? Or what? But Under Siege, you're saying. What does the game sound like? Someone in the back asked. Well, the sound is okay. The soundtrack sounds less like Watch Dogs 2, as it should. It would have been nice if I could listen to the radio while on foot like Watch Dogs 2. I don't get it. Why remove simple features like that if the feature was hot in Watch Dogs 2? The previous game had that. Look, the options are what we want. It's options we appreciate. We want to be able to turn it off and on. Now, the voices of the characters, apparently they use a little voice modulator to switch up the tone of each of your characters slightly with each character you recruit, but sometimes the voices don't tend to match the actual characters that you're playing as. It could be all over the place. But let's talk about gameplay for a second, right? Now, as you already know, the hook for this game is the notion that you can recruit anybody that you see in the street. The people are randomly generated, or they're pretty random for that matter, until you actually profile them, and then all of a sudden, they have a life. They have qualities, they have relationships, brothers, aunts, nephews. Some have weapons and small characteristics that may make a difference for a particular mission. Like better hand-to-hand skills. Some might have a bit of flatulence, which is just like real life. You see what I'm saying? You know, if you were on some of these missions in real life, you'd probably be passing gas left and right. Come on, let's keep it real. Anyway, right? They may have small details about themselves with an initial, profile, but a feature called the Deep Profiler Scan will unlock hour-by-hour schedules for the NPCs. It's like if you initially spot them, right? They'll be doing like one thing forever until you scan their background. Then you bring to life the details of the NPC, particularly their hour-by-hour schedule. It's kind of insane. Here's the issue, right? Where Ubisoft, I think, fumbled a little bit with an excellent idea, right? And I'm hoping that they really capitalize on this for the next one. It doesn't quite matter who you select or recruit. Each of them could get could get the job done. It don't matter who you're playing as. All of them could get the job done. Perhaps a different person creates a slight tweak of difficulty for a particular mission, but each of them could pull off any mission. Now, I'm not a fan of that, right? I feel like it would be better if there were some things that a potential recruit was unable to do. Like in real life. I might be able to slightly hack something, right? In real life. But my mom's could barely figure out what to do with a DVD player. I gotta walk her through finding the settings on her phone. Everybody can't do everything in real life. In this game, everybody can do everything. You see what I'm saying? Everybody is not able to do everything. Let's keep it real, man. You see what I'm saying? They should have mixed up who could do what in this game. Then, if I lose my hacker or someone that could fight, right? I would have to go on a hunt through the game until I actually found someone that had the capabilities of being able to carry out certain tactics or certain, hacking missions and stuff like that. Like some missions would wind up being kind of sort of locked off, right? Some missions should only be available if you have certain people in your crew that could pull off certain, things, right? Now, the game does have something called a permadeath mode, which is essentially a character you recruit after a certain mission point might be able to die. I love features like this. I mean, I say might, right? Because I have it on and I was trying to kill somebody off for quite some time, but they were still alive and kicking, right? It was great. I actually had a character that was pulling off some crazy moves. They was beating everybody up, and then they had a run. Permadeath was on. They tried to run out the whole joint and then got hit by a car. They was almost critically injured or something crazy like that. But they were injured, but I had to wait like an hour for them to come back. Now that was cool. You see what I'm saying? Permadeath is the way you want to go. Apparently, right? There's an Iron Man mode after the permadeath mode, which you may be able to kill off the people a little bit more quickly than regular permadeath. I'm not really sure. But look, that's how the game plays. I recommend playing on permadeath mode. Then you might be able to care a little bit more about these people when you're playing the game. You might be like, oh shoot, yo, the lady with the fro, I'm trying to keep her alive, and then you sitting there, cutting around and all this other insanity. It gives a sense of tension to the game that the game doesn't have if you have the mode off, if you follow what I'm saying. Because truth be told, you won't care about any of these people anyway. Regardless of who you're playing with, the game will just swap in your character almost as if it's a skin if you pick somebody else, and the storyline will just continue with another face. You see what I'm saying? The idea for this game is big, but I'm afraid it's too big. And stockholders or whoever rushes developers to push these titles out will not wait for the game to take the time to properly be developed the way that it should be, which is sad. Because you know what the game wants to do, but you also know how little time they have to do it. This is like the Cyberpunk joint, but we're gonna lay off of that one, okay? This is probably why Assassin's Creed pulled the whole, release the same damn game every year. Then they pull a major switch up after 2 years. It's like they figured out how to push out a quality product during crunch time and get away with it. That's why they're releasing these games every single year, and it's almost the same game, but it's slightly updated, and we just keep falling for the thing. Anyway, right? If you haven't done so already, should you get this game, right? If you play it for one day, will you want to play it for the next day? Should you drop a bag on this game? Should you drop a $60 bag on this game? I wouldn't recommend dropping the bag on this at 60. 40? Maybe. 30? Yeah. 20? You're stoked. You follow me? It's a good game, but you should already know good is the enemy of great. Now, if you have multiple systems, which I do, I made a sacrifice for you. You see what I'm saying? I bought the game on multiple systems, right? What do you like? What do you want? You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to do it for you, okay? Between Google Stadia, PlayStation 4, and Xbox, because I haven't secured myself a PS5. Clowns out there was buying it by the buttloads with bots and then scalping them. You see what I'm saying? I almost don't even care about it anymore. Anyway, right? PlayStation 4, Google Stadia, and Xbox. I play the game the most on Google Stadia. Why, you ask? Because I could play it on my computer screen, stop, play it on my 65-inch television that's up on the wall, pause, jump off of that, then go to my iPad, continue to play on Stadia, stop again, and continue playing it in the bathroom on my little phone. Oh, don't act like you don't do that, man. Yo, let us know what you think. Am I the only one that plays games while dropping the kids off at the pool, if you know what I mean? Where do your games run the best? The consoles are cool. The convenience of the Stadia, though, is where it's at for me. Yo, let us know what you think. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for tuning in to Under Siege Reviews. We'll get you surrounded next time.